What up, everybody? I am back in the warehouse working. Same old, same old. What? I mean, Access Media is doing exactly what we thought they were going to do. Same thing that they've done for various other properties and movies and shows that have come out. They've become so predictable, but it's really all that they have. So they have to reject any legitimate criticism because there's a lot riding on maintaining kind of that perceived legitimacy it is that they have. So I know it gets redundant when not including when we talk about it, but the fact that they are constantly pulling what this card. So let me say this. She-Hulk, as you're watching right now, is I believe yesterday, as of me recording this video, it finally dropped. Of course, I'm not watching that. But to just highlight just the same exact thing that they did with previous shows and the hilarious stuff. This is coming from Direct Access Media, MCU Direct, as you maybe see them on Twitter and stuff like that. They're acknowledging it in the actual article that they've done it before. I'm going to read it. Disney has been suffering from review bombing as of late, with many of its biggest releases facing a bombardment of negative reactions. In the last year alone, Eternals, Moon Knight, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Lightyear, and Ms. Marvel have all suffered this unfortunate fate, some before release and others afterward, for divisive content or representation. Eternals received hatred for featuring LGBTQIA plus relationship. Yeah, that's what got it, hatred. Moon Knight was, and I'm being sarcastic, Moon Knight was bombed for its inclusion of alleged propaganda. Ms. Marvel was widely framed as childish and woke. Only Thor: Love and Thunder and Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness have appeared to escape the review bombing trend out of the MCU's 2022 releases. So they get a reaction that they don't want and they don't like, and therefore that action cannot be legitimate. It has to be something that is wrong with, of course, the audience. And we, of course, are going to highlight their hypocrisy here in a little bit. Now, She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, is preparing to premiere on Disney Plus, and the early reactions from critics have proven to be extremely positive. These people they're not aware. They have no self-awareness that's not saying anything, okay? When you say something like, hey, let me turn this up just a little bit. But when you say something like, yeah, the guys that their entire livelihoods in working the positions that they work depends upon them giving the reviews that they give. Now, that doesn't mean that everything is going to be positive per se, or everything that they're going to say is going to be positive about it. But we know that certainly when it comes to negatively depicting something, they are never going to actually go full force with that, because in the event that they did that, definitely if they did that like consecutively, their access will be stripped upon them or stripped from them. They wouldn't get the early viewership, and a lot of their bacon, it depends on that. They need those initial clicks that they would get because people are maybe researching, hey, reviews, early reviews and all of that stuff. And their entire livelihood is based upon that. This is why it's always hilarious that a lot of folks that protect the Access Media or are part of the Access Media would say guys like other YouTubers, sorry about that, I need to call that person back here in a little bit, but other YouTubers are clickbaiters, and of course they speak negatively about that. And some of the biggest clickbaiters per se that depend on those clicks, that do things specifically for clicks, are modern journalists, reporters, whatever you want to call them, reviewers, because they need to front load, of course, that viewership. Of course, when the material is out, people are less likely to view your review, let's say in this case. Therefore, you know that your access is so important because you can get it early, and you get it early, you get the clicks because people are looking to see where people are on, let's say, the latest movie or show. They are the biggest clickbaiters that exist, but they don't like YouTubers doing something very similar to them. But watch this right here. It says it faces review bombing. Says has faced review bombing. IMDB ahead of its Disney Plus premiere on Thursday, August 18th, with the majority of negative reactions coming from men over 30. What does that have to do with negative reactions? Like, a majority of the negative reactions comes from this demographic, and therefore it must be review bombing. The show currently is at has a 44.4% 10 out of 10 ratings and 41.1% out of 10 reactions, with a fairly even mix of everything in between. Demographic shows an overwhelmingly positive response from women and a strong response from younger men. However, the show has faced significant negativity from men over 30. So they're going to play, of course, that card. It's the men, incels, yada, 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 all that stuff is certainly what it is. Now, of course, they're talking about fragility and bigotry. It's the same old stuff. And that's the hilarious part of it all, is that they themselves are acknowledging that. They're acknowledging that, we pulled this before. We're going to claim you did it. And that's what they're going to cover. Now, look at this real quick. I don't like the term review bombing anyway, because it's being a little dishonest, because what it does is it shifts from people because the idea is that people are bombing this, right? So people are making negative reviews, and they're doing it purposely. But what they neglect to mention, that this, for example, in this IMDb user reviews, there's an unrealistic amount of positive ones as well. That makes no sense that there's 44.4% of them. So the majority, holding the majority right now, is these 10 out of 10 votes right now that they're referencing. They screenshotted, move sites or anything. They're screenshotted. Does that make sense? Of course not. But those aren't the ones those are okay. Those are okay. The 10 out of 10 ratings are okay. It must be a 10 out of 10. It can't possibly be a 1 out of 10. So that's my thing about this whole review bombing thing. If you're going to say that folks are being dishonest or are doing things that are being like nefarious in terms of how they're going about reviewing this, they just want to give it a 1 out of 10 because they want it to be okay, bad or whatever. Okay, cool. But you can't ignore the people that do the same exact thing on the positive side of things and say, just because, even though they may have not watched it, even though they may not care about it, or something, they go and highlight the 10 out of 10 because they want to either maybe they're, I hate to use the term, but maybe they're shills. Maybe that's just simple as that. But it's okay. Those don't get questioned. The ones that are negative are the ones that get questioned. And I say this as a creator and definitely as someone that's going to be putting out material. Yes, there's going to be bad actors. And I'm not even denying that there may be bad actors that highlight this. My issue, though, is if you're going to look at something like this and you're going to reference this 10 out of 10, you're going to reference these 10 out of 10s and these 1 out of 10s, you can't just ignore the 10 out of 10s and be like, well, that's permissible. That's okay. That's not review bombing. But on the other hand, it is. And that's the access media and how they are very disingenuous. It's that, well, folks that look at it positively are real. They are honest. It is legitimate. Folks that look at it negatively are not. As if the MCU can do absolutely no wrong. And the fact that they're pulling this review bombing card yet again is just quite hilarious. They did it. We talked about the direct doing it with Miss Marvel. It was like an identical article. Same thing. Yo, I appreciate you as always. And if you're into comics or want to get into them, go visit Rippaverse.com, where you can check out my own comic book company, Rippaverse Publishing. Our first book, ISOM #1, is currently up for pre-order right now. You can also check out the company trailer and the ISOM campaign trailer so that you can make an informed purchase. We've cleared over $3.3 million in sales, and many of our supporters are viewers just like yourselves. And because of that, I have to thank you all Personally, I do appreciate you. I can't wait for you to learn more about Isom himself and already fan favorite Yaira. We ship internationally, so no matter what side of the globe you're on, we'd love to have you as a customer. Much love and big thanks.